Okay, guys, so we ready to go now. So in a tailwind, right, we just gonna follow the document here from the tailwind website. Okay, it's better idea, right? So when you open this link, I will just put in the chat here. That's why I didn't make any document on the tailwind. Okay, not required, right? Best thing is to follow here. Okay, it's nice and easy to follow, right? So we are going to install tailwind together with our nextjs we have done last time, right? We're going to do that one. Okay, but let's try to understand what is tailwind, right? What is tailwind? Tailwind css work by scanning. See, look at here, right? How tailwind work, right? Tailwind css works by scanning all of your html file, scanning, okay, javascript components. So you have you know react component, javascript component, right? Component, okay, the function where you put all your html, correct? And any other templates, right, for class names. So it will scan for all your htmls for class names and then generating the corresponding style, right? So it will generate the corresponding style and then writing them to a static css file. Look at here. So just imagine, right, you have a project, nextjs project or any project which use tailwind, right? It has a css. You wrote all the css inside using tailwind, right? Tailwind. So nextjs, what nextjs will do, right? It has to compile. Basically it has to build the project, right? Once you finish development, you're going to build your project, or basically you just make it ready to run, right? So the tailwind css has an engine, right? It will scan all your classes and create the normal css file, right? Just create a normal css file which is linked to your main page, the global page, right? The index page. Okay, so tailwind will just give us to write css in a proper manner, right? Like in a well structured way, well designed way, right? Everything is built in there. It just let you write everything in a well designed way, structured way. The only thing is it will convert everything to normal css file while building, right? And it will be added to your like basically wherever, right? Like let's say in the it just it just create new page, just call it just create new page in your memory, right? And it's sitting there, and that is what used by the whole website. So what we're going to do first, we're going to start with installation. Okay, if you look at here, let's see, it's fast, flexible and reliable, right? With zero runtime means it just zero runtime means it's so fast, right? To creating all that like converting all your css tailwind css to css file and running that is take no time. Okay, very very fast. So that's why tailwind is very famous, used by a lot of you know a lot of companies, right? And easy to design your css, very easy, right? It's just like understanding tailwind how to use, that is important. Okay, so we're going to start with the installation of our project. Like for here at installation, tailwind CLI, right? Basically if you want to add tailwind to just html, normal html, right, then you're going to follow this. Post css, maybe like sass or something like that, you want to use tailwind, then you can follow that pattern. Framework, we are using framework, right? So inside framework we have nextjs, and we're just going to follow this pattern. So look at all this framework, right? Gatsby, solid.js, ruby rail, they all can use tailwind, right? So just click on that, and then you're gonna get the like direction how to install, and all the steps, right, to make your tailwind work there. Okay, our is nextjs. I just click that one and install tailwind css with nextjs, right? So see, look at the steps here. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? All that. So the first step is setting up Tailwind CSS in Next.js project. Before it was a little difficult, right? I mean, you can just call this line of command, right, in your terminal, and it will install Next.js and all that. But what we're gonna do is first we're gonna install our own Next.js. Easy way, right? Let's do that. So what I'm gonna do now, I will go to the terminal here, right, and then I will switch to this one dash Next.js tailwind, right? So cd one dash Next.js tailwind. Good. Now what I will do, right? I'm going to install npx create next app at the rate latest, right? If you go to Next.js, right, there you're going to find that Next.js, very easy. You go there, and then if you want the command, go to installation, and there create next app at the rate latest, right? So just run that one, and these are the steps you're going to follow, right? Just follow these steps. So because I have given the name, right? uh, just give me a second, guys. Yeah, so it's recording now. Back to recording. So we just have to follow, these are the steps, right? What we're going to follow, okay? And because only thing to notice here, right, we have, look at here, we have our folder here, and we are going to install our Next.js inside that folder. That is important, right? So if I want to install there, I will just put the current folder, right, like this. Install Next.js inside the current folder by adding dot slash, right? That means current folder install Next.js. And just pay attention now, right? Just pay attention, okay? It will ask me a bunch of questions, what we just saw there in the website, right? So TypeScript, yes. ESLint, yes. Tailwind CSS, yes. Source directory, I don't need, right? So it's already no. It's suggesting even you don't have source directory, it's okay, right? Let's keep it no. App routers, yes, because Next.js now is completely based on app directory, right? App, remember app router? Inside the app folder, you're going to create all that different pages, right? So yes, we're going to need that app router. And then, would you like to customize the default alias? No, right? No. So whatever is there as a default, just leave it, because at the rate slash means the let's call it a root directory, right? And after, you can call any other folders like components folders or maybe app folders, like that, right? At the rate slash will call the root directory directly, okay? So we will look at that later. So no, right? Just keep it no. So that's it. It's gonna install all the required file and folder, right? So let's continue. So let's give it a minute maybe to install. Then once we have done with the installation, these are the steps, right? Let's go back to our next tailwind now. So it says when you don't have to follow step one, right? We just did it by installing Next.js, okay? So even this one now we don't have to do, right? Look at here. What we have done now, when you installing Next.js, right? It give us all the options, right? To install even Tailwind same time. Back then, right? It was like even like few months before, it was not there. So I was just using this, right? I was just copying these things and initialize that and adding all this, right? But now it's there, okay? Everything is there. We don't have to do anything. If you look at a couple of file and folder, right? So this steps happens. After this step, you must have this one, tailwind config.js, right? So look at that one first. So tailwind config.ts, because we are using TypeScript, so our file will be in TypeScript. Okay, so we have that, and inside here, right, you're gonna get some basic, basically background image, all that, right? Which we don't need, we can remove it. But the content, the only thing is this one, right? Why is this here? Remember in the definition of the tailwind, right? What it says is tailwind engine will scan all the classes from your HTML and JavaScript, right? So tailwind is whatever folder structure here, right? Like directly from which folder tailwind will scan. So these are the some basic directory given, right? So dot slash inside the app, right? If you have components in the root directory, component, for example, let's say I have component in the root here. I don't have right now, but I'm going to create one, call it components, right? components. Make sure the name is same like this. If you don't put the same name, right, and you add something different, and then you try to add some files there, tailwind will not figure out. Okay, so make sure components is same matching name with this one. The first thing, we have app here, we don't have pages, right? So it's okay, we can leave it. It does not, there is no issue with that. So once we have, component here to add some basic components, that's okay. But just remember that, right? And there is theme, extend. Okay, it's recording now. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so we just let's see where I am now. Here, pages component, right? So I mean, any folder, right, you want to scan for tailwind classes, we must include here. Okay, this is important one in the tailwind, right? That is all we have to know right now in the uh, config file, tailwind config. Sometimes you will put some classes and you may be thinking, why I'm not getting the CSS, right? My page is not styling. Why? Then you just think, oh, maybe I put in somewhere wrong, right? My files are in some wrong places. Let's say you create some folder like this, right? Let's call it uh, maybe anything, right? Page like this, pages. Okay, so even if you put pages, right, it's okay, there is a pages that will work, that gonna find, right? But any other name, let's call it like city, right? You add a folder called city, and then inside here you create some pages. It not gonna CSS, tailwind will not work. Okay, not gonna work. So let's delete this. So always recommend just stick to these three: pages, components, app, right? Even pages now I'm not using anymore, right? You don't need that. Just for component, we're gonna put in inside components, and everything try to keep it inside the app, right? Everything. Okay, so what I will do, I'm just gonna run the one more thing. Okay, after installing this, right, go to your extension and install this tailwind intelligence, right? Intelligence, just install that. Okay, see what this will do, right? It will help to give you the suggestion if you want to find the text color or padding or margin or grid or flex. Remember all the CSS properties. If you want to find, it will give you suggestion. You just type first character or letter, right, and it will give you the bunch of list of items. Oh, you want this, take it. That's how it works, right? So just install that. I have installed here already. Just install it, right? That is tailwind CSS intelligence. One time install in your Visual Studio, good to go, right? Now I will just close this. We don't need. I will close. So yeah, if you look at here, I just added some line of code. Install nextjs project with TypeScript and Tailwind CSS. We have done that. Understand the folder structure. So we're still looking at, and then practice Tailwind by following document right from Tailwind official website. So that is what we do now. Let's go back to the Explore here on the top and close that. Right. So we don't have anything here. So the next file, so we look at ts config, no need to look at that. Tailwind config, that is fine. Let's go back here. Anything else? If you look at here, right, you're gonna find git ignore, which is ignoring already node modules. That is good to go. So why we have git ignore? Remember git ignore, right? So you can include the files and folder, right, which you don't want to send to the GitHub. Like remember git, certain things, right, like the variables, some API keys or something like that, right, or node modules file. This is very large file. You don't need to send to the GitHub. No need, right? So you can just ignore it here. So we know that before. That's good to go. So public, inside the public folder, you can add some of your images, right? Or CSS, like sometimes you have CSS, not CSS, but yes, CSS, even CSS file you can add here, or font. There is a font file, right? Right now, we have learned before to just use the Google font link, but here even you can download the font and put it here, right, in the public folder and use it. But we're not going to do that. These are the two nextjs images given by nextjs. You can delete, no need. Node module is there, which has all the packages, right, installed. Remember, when you install, it is installed already, but when you do npm install by cloning any project, right, npm install install, okay, it will download all the packages, whatever inside the package, right? It will download all this software, okay? So now we almost done with the basic setup. Let's go and run this project. So npm run development, right? Yeah. And once you are there, just open this link. Just open that. So up to this point, we know very well. You know how to install Next.js with Tailwind, right? Look at here. Inside app page. See this, what you see here is page from the app folder. The root, basically app directory, right? So how routing work? App, and inside app, if you have page, right? The first page, that will be the root page. The root page right here. This is the root page. Like index.html, right? Index.html. This is the one. Okay. That's the page, right? So in Next.js, everything is page. We know that. We can delete this because we're gonna just add our own HTML now. So let's make a div, right? And inside I'm gonna put heading 1 and call it this is home page. Same like index.html, right? Index page. Good. And let's check now, right, in our site, and you see with some background image and all that, right? How we getting all this? So we're gonna figure out through our CSS, global CSS, right? Look at here. So in global CSS, you have some, like background images and all that right here. So we don't need all this, okay? We can remove, right? Just delete everything. Make sure you have this one, right? Because these three files, helps us to connect with the Tailwind CSS. You must have these three things in the root CSS, okay? Inside app, you have global CSS, and it's here, right? That it will be there, okay? But remaining you don't need, right, for now, okay? If you need later in the future, you can add it, but for now, no need. Just delete it. Good. You can clean that up, and by doing that, right, our page is clean now. Look at that. That background image, all that is gone, right? I can go back here, right? And I can say h1 and just put background color of red. I can do that. I can still write this normal CSS. Look at that. It's okay. It will work, right? But we're not gonna do that anymore, right? So the next step is, and we know the layout, right? This is the common layout inside the app. So these are the three things: global CSS, common layout, and page, right? In the layout, you see the title here and description for search engine. So create next app, right? So right now you can call it nextjs tailwind css, right? Like that, nextjs tailwind css. You can put that. And here, look at nextjs tailwind css. Look at here, okay? On the title, right? You can see. So that is title. The description is, the metadata, right? What is metadata? When you do search engine, right? When you search something in the Google search, you find some text there, some title, text, all that, right? So you put inside here, okay? This is all about metadata, right? But we will, in the end, we're gonna learn about all this, how to optimize your website, right? For search engine, SEO, okay? And all that we're gonna do later. But for now, you can change, right? Title and description. Title will appear on the title, right? On the title of your uh, page, okay? See, every website, right, has a title there. You can see, right? And there is the favicon, the icon here. That favicon is this one. This is the favicon icon, right? So we can replace this favicon with our own favicon. You just have to create the icons. You can, like search online how to create favicon, and you maybe give some image or something, some text, and create, right? Like maybe one character from the ABCD, something like that, okay? And you can create, or maybe some simple image. Look at the triangle, right? Very powerful triangle, okay? In the dark, if you look at this icon, right, logo, inside the universe, the dark universe, right, you have this bright light triangle, okay? Like the power, right? Okay, I'm just kidding. So let's continue. Then after you have the root layout, and then we know this inside the HTML, we are executing all the child, right? And what is child? The page. The route, whichever route you click on, right? Whichever route you go, that page will be run inside this body. That's simple. So this is a root route. Page is a root route right now. We are in the root route, right? So that's why that whatever inside the page will run in the layout inside here. If everyone is clear on this or not, right? You have any, I mean, you get the idea, right, of the routing and all that. So just take a minute, right? See, you have an app that is a root page, right? Root route. Inside you have page. Okay, page is where you're gonna create component. What is the layout, right? Layout is the, like a common file which will take all different pages in the route, in the link, right? Let's say you go to contact page, the contact page information will push to that layout inside that body, right? In the children, as a child, okay? Child is like a all the document, right, from certain file. That is called children, right? Remember, we nesting, we study about nesting, right? You have the parent folder or parent, like HTML container, div, or section. Inside you put many different folders. Child, right? Child folders. Same thing here, same concept. So let's go back now, and now we're going to start our CSS, right? Tailwind. So let's see. Let's look at the tailwind now. So this installation process is done, right? I mean, you can see here in the global CSS line 4, adding these things, then just run your projects and then add the CSS, right? Okay, so this is the first CSS. So how are you going to add CSS? you have to apply class name, and you think, right, what you want to make your this heading one. So text, right? Maybe what is the text? Maybe LG large, right? Or maybe MD 2XL, something like that, right? So okay, fine. Let's put that one, right, and see what this class will give me, right? So I just add text 2XL. So the text 2XL is the class when you're writing CSS, right? Remember that rem 1.5, or maybe that is 24 pixel. 2 rem is 32 pixel. We learn about that, right? Rem. We make the base unit 10 pixel, and then we put 2 rem. So this is based on the standard, right? Let's say my browser is 16 pixel base. So the 2 means 32 pixel, right? 16 times 2 is 32 pixel. So look at that class name. I just call the class name, right? And it will give me some standard CSS like this. So when this page is ready, right, and when you compile your project, or build the project, all these classes, right, name will be added to one of the file like normal CSS, right? And that is what gonna be loaded in your website automatically by the tailwind, right? Like it just crammed together all that CSS. These are the CSS, okay? So now you may be thinking, oh my god, so how I'm gonna remember all thousands of classes, right? It's just a little bit of practice. So let's say I want to make this bold, right? So now something, font weight. Remember font weight, bold, right? So you start font weight, bold, or light, or something like that. So I will start with font, right? And maybe just call it sans semi bold, okay? Just this property, right? Semi bold or bold, like that, semi bold. Okay. You want color, so the you apply color to what? Text, right? So text, and then what is the color you want to apply? So orange. And look at here, all different intensity of the color: 100, 200, 300, 400. So I will make it 600, right? That's it. Now you want to add some padding, or not padding, right? You don't have background, so let's make a bg background. And what background now, right? So maybe I will do, let's say, not slate, but uh, there are different many colors, right? Let's make it slate, maybe 500, right? Now you want padding, so that is p. So x is left and right, y is top and bottom, and you can give all this number now, right? Look at here, padding number, okay? How much padding you want, right? And so I will just do padding all side, maybe 5, right? P means x and y both, right? Save it, and let's go back and check our website now. So look at that. So there is a select background color, text is orange 600, font is semi bold, right? So yeah, so the text to Excel, let's make it little big for Excel maybe, and see what happened, right? So it just grow. Then you have the padding there, like 5 all around, padding top, bottom, left, right, right? So that's how you apply the CSS. So the simple rule is, right, for every let's say for every element, you just put a class name and start writing the CSS there itself. You don't need to create separate CSS file and write CSS, right? So let's say I have a page right here. I call it maybe what? Let's call it about, right? About page, and I have page here. So I did mistake. So page dot tsx, like that, and React arrow function create export, and then React, right? So we can call it what? About page. about page, right, like that. So here, I mean, you're gonna create a lot of things, right? So just imagine I want to have this about page, right? Go in the center of my website, or maybe center. I just make it center. So, and this will be very small, like box, right? So I'm gonna send, when I click the about slash about, right? I'm gonna send this children inside the layout. Remember that. So what I will do, I'm gonna add a class name and give a container, right? Container. So container has some size, okay? So you remember the container, how you create like a, width 80%, max width 1200 pixel, something like that. So container, look at here, and even there is a responsive sizes, right? Look at all this. See, they have added all this CSS already inside the container. So in the small device, mean width, that is a small device, 640 pixel. Then after that, mean width maybe 760. So the container will change, right? The container will change automatically based on this media query. Okay, but in a small device, it is 100%. And then you want to center, right? So mx, that is margin. Remember how you center margin 0 auto? Remember that? So mx, x-axis auto, right? So let's see now. Left auto, right auto. That is all you have to do. Margin left auto, right auto. You know. So now I will put heading 1, and I'll call it about page, and I will just do class name text center, right? See. Then I'm gonna add paragraph. I'll just put lorem ipsum little bit, and I will make this a box now, right? This paragraph I will make a box. So what I will do, I'm gonna add padding all side, maybe 4, text uh, purple, maybe let's make it 300, and border, maybe border, right? Let's add a border all around, border, right? So you can have border left, right, all that, okay? And then what else you can do? Even you can give the size of the border, right? So yeah, so that's fine. So just leave it. And rounded. Remember there is a radius, border radius, that is rounded, right? So maybe MD, let's make it LZ, okay? So we're gonna go back to our website, and I will call that. So that is my slash. What is the route now? About route, right? About. I will go to the about page and look at that. So I did something mistake here, right? Basically, I mean, you have the about page on the top, that is center. This is running all the way, right, from left to right. So MX auto, I don't know why it did not take this one. So I can make a width. Let's make a width, right? Width of maybe 600 pixel. If you want to add your own size, right, you can do that. Okay, so that is there now, right? So my mistake was here, the text, not the text purple, but I'm gonna do the BG, right? Purple 600, and then text maybe MD. We're gonna understand all this, okay? Now you can see, right? So now you can change that color to white, okay? So here I will just do text white. That's how, right? Like normal English language, okay? See, you want to have, like, you want to space below this heading 1. So just go here, right, and put margin bottom, and maybe 5, right, or 6, like that. And look at that. See, it just moved down, right? So this is how we apply the tailwind class, right? Every element, you just choose the element, right? Just choose the element, and you will start applying the classes. That's how we use tailwind. Now the question is, my God, how am I gonna learn all this class name? So that's why I asked you in the beginning, right? I asked you guys to make sure you master that CSS, like what is padding, margin, border, flex, grid. I mean, we did not study grid, right? It's okay. We're gonna learn here now. I mean, do enough practice, right? Means at least you understand the structure. So whatever you have done last time, but this time we will try to master it. Okay, that will help, right? What you have done last, and now we're gonna revision. It's like a revision, learning new thing, right? It's gonna be great. So we understand how to write tailwind. Just create a page and start writing the tailwind. That is all. So optimizing or all these things, right? Let's say editor setup using preprocessor. We're not going to do all that, right? For now. Okay, so core concept. Look at here, core concept, right? So I mean, you can even look at here how this is created. See, a lot of CSS, right? That is the normal CSS way, and then you're gonna write here doing the same thing within the same line, right? Look at here, few line of code, and I mean, you're gonna do this by giving class names and all that. You forget the class name. Oh my God, what class name was in that image or the other page, paragraph, or I mean, look at all these things, mess, right? This much code, or you prefer this much code? So it looks like a little bit tough in the beginning, but trust me, you're gonna love it, right? After sometimes, maybe after 2 weeks time, you're gonna love this. And the same thing, the guy who got the job, right? And last time in the call, he said in the beginning he was not fun with the tailwind, right? But now he's enjoying in the job using tailwind, because I told them, even it looks a little tough right now, you have to be like, trust yourself and keep working, right? Later it will make your life so easy to create a nice stuff. Okay, so these are the few basic concepts, right? Like how you add hover effect or focus, right? So we're gonna just learn it while using it. So main thing is what I want to talk about is this one, right? So the responsive design. Okay, you just remember this, right? Small, medium, LG, XL, and 2XL. So what is small, right? See, the minimum width is 640 pixel. There is a media query, right? So small means when you cross this size, I mean website, right? If you look at the website, any website, any website can have this page like this. This is the page. So the small device means, let's say this is the small, right? 640 pixel. So SM means below 640. Let's say 640 pixel, right? That is SM. This is a small device. The next one is MD, right? So MD will be, like SM means 640 below, right? Soon you cross SM 6. Soon you cross this one, right? That means you went above the SM. Okay. So what is MD now? So when you cross 768, you cross MD, right? When you cross 1024 large, that is LG. When you cross 1280 pixel, that is XL, and 1536 pixel is 2XL, right? So you don't have to remember all this. Just remember this name, right? A small, MD, LG, XL, 2XL. I mean, you guys go buy shoes or maybe some garments. So you look for size, right? Oh, that's medium size for me, or large or small, whatever, right? Just memorize this. This will be very useful, right? Now, by just remembering this number, right? A small, you're gonna get all these classes now, right? I mean, see, at the rate media mean with 640 pixels and whatever code inside, right? So let me the code. Let's see. Just take one example. Okay, let's take one example. Right? So what I will do, we're gonna uh, yeah. So okay, just put here, right? This one, just for fun, right? So a small device, like when you go above 640. No, just leave that one before, right? What was sorry, just leave that one, this color as it is. Now when we go small device 640 above, right? Above, the BG will be orange 600. Okay, when you go above MD, right? When you cross like 700 something, BG will be uh, gray, maybe 500, right? When you go above LG, right? Then BG will be again purple, maybe 800. Let's make it good. Fine. So let's see how this will change now. In below 640, that is below a small device, it is purple 500. So soon you cross 640, that is small. See, look at here. When I hover, right? Look at this. All this step, right? So let's try. So this is, I mean, this is the purple, right? Because you are in the largest one right now. The LG, right? LG. So I will change this one. Okay, maybe make it green. So it is much more different, right? Green 800. That's fine. So look at now. You are in the green, right? So we're gonna minimize it. Okay, let's. So you are in green. That is LG. There is XL and 2XL also, but I didn't add. You understand now, right? So I will go to the MD. That is gray, and then I will go small. Small device. Go down. That is orange, and then I will go below 640. Below the small, right? Like the mobile, right? Below 640 is mobile. Okay, and that is the what is the mobile, right? Below 640 pixel. See, so with just putting that one, right? Let's say you want to apply, you want to change the direction, right, of your code, make it like go in row or column or something like that. Media query is small, SM, MD, LG, 2XL, XL, right? That is all you have to call. And how you going to use it? Very easy. Just call it like small colon, right? And add the CSS. What CSS you are trying to add? Just add it, right? Even you can add anything, like flex or flex direction column or flex direction row, right? You can do that. But remember, media query is just this SMMDLG like that. Okay, that is simple. But you have to, just make it note and try to memorize it, right? So this is like mean width. Starting mean width means soon you cross this size, right? Go up. Mean width is always going up from that side. Okay, go up from 6. So let's say this is the only MD size, right? You have in your code. You don't have all these things. So up means what? Above 688 pixel. Everything will be whatever you put there. So if there is more breakpoints, you can call LG XL to XL. But if not, it's just the MD, right? MD and or small. So, but you're gonna learn it, like by practice. I mean, a lot, right? So even if you want to create this card, look at that. This is all right. Nice card here. This is the code. So give a try, right? You just bring one image and try to add that image and see how it works in your HTML. Okay, so that was the one thing I want to bring it up, very important one. Adding custom style, we're gonna focus after sometimes. No need to worry about that. First, our goal is to learn the tailwind, right? So configuration, we not worry about that. Content, no need to worry. Theme, let's not worry about that. Screen, right? So screen, again, you can define the screen of your device, right? You can modify that in the theme, okay? But we stick to the whatever default size, which is this one, right? We just stick to that one for now, okay? Now colors, look at the colors, right? So colors is slate, gray, zinc, neutral, stone. You just come here. Let's say in your website, what color combination you want to use, just choose, right? Green. I will mostly use green for something, or maybe teal for something. Cyan, sky blue, indigo, violet, right? Purple. So there is already a lot of color, right? You can choose from to do our work. I mean, see that? And each color has the number, right? 50, 100. That is the intensity, okay? So when you do red, 600, text red, maybe 800, like that, right? Okay. Orange, red, look at here. Red, 600, 700, 800, 900. That is the darkest one, right? Okay. Spacing, uh, plugin. Okay. So spacing also, let's not worry about that. This is basically, like we use the number. Remember that width, maybe one or two or something, right? Mean width, max width, height. You can use this number, right? Height, mean height, max height, padding, margin. Remember, we use some number, right? Some number for all this. Padding, you use something. Margin, p dash something, margin dash something. So these are the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So see how you get one when you put one, right? This style will be applied 8 pixel, 2 is 12 pixel, 3 is 6 that. So when I put p dash 3 or p dash 4, right? See that? So that's how we use size, different sizes by number. So you can see these are already predefined in the theme, right? Later when you master things, like you can even modify the theme based on your requirements. So the tailwind is very flexible, right? Very flexible. I mean, but we have to first understand how to use tailwind. Second, in the future we learn how to modify some of the themes if we need. If not, basic tailwind classes are good enough to do the job, right? Okay, so let's now plugins. There are some plugins. Let's not worry about that. Preset, no need to worry about that right now. There is some basic style. We don't need to worry. We just start from here, right? Layout. So there is some layout here. Layout rest. Like what container means. Columns, break after, break before, break inside, box decoration, box sizing, display, float, clear, isolation, object fit. These are some properties, right? Like position. So in this one, let's put it. Let's understand container, right? So container is what? Always 100%. Container is 100%, right? Look at width is 100%. Now you want your container what? Your container width you want maximum, maybe XL, right? So if the screen size is above 1280 pixel, just make it XL container, XL color container, right? And that should be fine. So let's see the use case here. Class container, max with auto, right? So it will adjust automatically. I mean, it should be 100%, right? Based on that screen size. Okay, it will adjust automatically. Even if you look at this container MX auto, container MX auto, you just add some padding, right? And that is all we have to do. Okay, it will adjust automatically based on the screen size. Now responsive variant, the full width fluid until the MD breakpoint, right? Then lock the container. So the container will be full width until MD. Soon you hit MD, right? The container will be What is the size of MD now here? 768 pixels. So the container size will become this, right? You can lock it at the LG, right? Or Excel. That's what I said earlier, right? You just call the media query or the size of your screen and then call the container, right? And then MD MX auto. So that's how you lock the size, right? Uh, okay, so these things will be difficult to understand. What we will do is that's the container, that's the next the column, right? The utilities for controlling the number of columns within an element. So you have a box, let's say we have a div, right? And how many columns you want inside the div. So you can define that column 2 or column 3 and then put your element, right, inside. So that element will be divided into that many columns. Okay. So you can predefine the columns, like for example, let's say this is the div, right? And I have two items here, S1 and the paragraph, correct? So I will make this one, let's say I will remove this one for now, and I can make it LG, right, and call it container. So it will lock at that size. Okay. So I want to have column, right? Column maybe 2 and see what happens. So see, I get something moved on the left side, right? I mean, you can see there is two column. Look at here, and the other one is, just put in the two column, right? Left one is one, the first one on the left, and the second one on the right side. Here you can give a background color and BG orange maybe 400. So see, that's the first column, and this is the second column, right? So that's the reason for column. Okay, means if you know how many column we need, right? You can just add it there. So the first thing I believe what we're going to learn, right? Let's start with the basic CSS. Okay, if you're just exploring all these things, right, will be difficult to learn. We're going to start with some basic, very basic idea, right? So what will be the good approach of learning? Guys? Let's put it container for now. I will not mess up with this. What we will do is I'm going to open this, right? The doc, right? And I will start from here, the first, right? So let's call it challenge 1. So, what I want you guys to do is close all this in the app folder, right? Call it challenge 1. Okay. And create page, right? Page dot tsx like that. And then how you create the component, react arrow function, create export like that, and change this to ch1, right? Like it's okay. Just ch1, that's fine. Now this ch1, right, what it is doing, right? I mean, what you have to return in the ch, just create this one. So you have a div with the background color, correct? So div class name bg, and what is this color, right? Some kind of like a, you can find it here. So let's go to the color here on the top, colors, and somewhere something I don't have. Let's see, maybe this one, right? Something like that. So teal, I'll make it teal 800. Okay, tail, right? Tail 800. So bg tail and 800. You know, and the text color. What is text color? White. So you learn, right, how to add the text color and bg color. Fine. That's the div. Now I want what? I want the paragraph, right, inside. So the paragraph, look at the design. So I have a heading one and paragraph. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm gonna have heading one, lorem maybe 6, right, like that. Good. And I have paragraph. So if you look at now, right, this box has some padding all around. So let's put some padding, right? So I will just put padding p of maybe 10. So how much is the padding 10, right? That is 40 pixel. So top, bottom, left, right, there is 40 pixel padding. When you can add it, it's okay, right? Padding. Similarly, if you want margin also, you can do margin, bottom, like remember the four side of your box model, padding top or margin top, margin left, margin bottom, margin right. So depends what you need, right? Padding and margin should be easy to understand now. Or you just want X left, right, same, that is padding or margin does not matter, same idea, right? Left, right, X, and top and bottom Y, right? Like that. Okay, but fine. We okay with this. The only problem I have now, right, in my design, I want all my text wrapped to the 50% of the parent container. So let's first go back here, right? In the let's go back here and then not about, but I want to go ch1. Okay, so it looks something like this. So see, the reset is already in the tailwind, right? You don't have a reset, everything is same size. So let's do some classes for the heading one. So I will make text maybe 4XL like that, and give margin bottom of maybe 4, right? Good. Okay, but it's not my design, right? I want my text the 50% of my container. How I can do that? So in that case, oh, okay, I need to wrap all this in a separate div now, right? I remember from the last class, div, and put inside here, right? And I will say class name. So width, I will just make it how much? You know, 50%, right? So you want to make 50%, so just put a bracket because there is no 50%. Okay, just put it like that, 50%, and look at that. So that box, unless you want to give it like something, right, width maybe, like width maybe, let's call it 20. So see, the 20 is that much, right? That's a lot of small width. So let's say width uh, maybe 96, and see how much will be that, right? Something like that. So you can check, right? What is the size here? That's the 384 pixel, right? But you want percent, so basically you can apply your own size now by using square bracket and make it 50%, and that's good enough. So I'm done with the first challenge, guys. So the next challenge is challenge 2, right? Base creating this one. So now right now the point is how I gonna center these things, correct? How I gonna center, right? That stuff. How? So this is the first, I mean, you see, same thing you're gonna do, right? Create a challenge to same thing. But let's look at it. How, only thing I must talk about is how you're gonna center these things in this, right? So you need, basically container, right? Some kind of container. The idea is same like before. Okay. So you're gonna have a div here, right? That is act like a container, and I will put it inside. I'll just wrap everything. So I'm not gonna put up even padding, right? Or now, okay, leave the padding, no problem. Or maybe just put padding on top and bottom, okay? So if I put that, look at here, right? It's touching the corner because there is no padding left and right. But I'm going to use now container to, like my container to just put in the center, right? So, okay, let's say I don't remember the CSS class, CSS, right? So width, I will just do it, how much? Maybe 80%, and then MX auto, right? So left and right auto, and that's it. See, that is all, you have to do. And you can add like BG red. Let's make it 600. See what is that container, right? See that? Remember how you create container? Same idea here. Now you want to, use this again below here, the new, like you want to have a new div, right? Which is gonna have some text, more text, like in the challenge too. Okay, I'm talking about challenge too, right? So always remember, this is one box, right? Your component only return one box. Okay, so you want to have another box now. First you create the maybe fragment like this, right? And then you create a new div. This will be basically section 2, right? Let's go back here, and this one. So you need a container first to wrap everything, right? So here you can call it class name, add some padding top and bottom of maybe 6. Then you need a div, that is a container, right? So class and width, that is 80%, same like top one. So in the future, right, because we're repeating these things, in the future we're gonna learn how to something repeating many times. You can add it in your CSS file here, right? This one, global CSS, and use it, call it that one. Okay. So now MX auto to center that. Then I have heading 2, maybe some lorem, maybe 6, right? And then you can have a lot of paragraph, okay? Lorem, then paragraph again, okay, good to go. So now look at my design here, right? Look at this. Okay, I need another container to wrap this little bit here, like up to here, right? So that's fine, no problem. I'm not worried about that. I just go back and keep a div and wrap it here, right? So in this one, I will say class name. I'll just give a max width, right? A width of maybe width of how much? Let's make it this one around 70%. So 70% of this parent, okay? And that is all. I don't need to put in the center, so it will be something like that. The only thing I'm going to do is now style all this, right? So heading to class name, so text will be 3XL, margin bottom of 6, and that's it. Now all this paragraph you can style, right? So for now I'll just give margin bottom of maybe, just give it 2, right? And copy that and put it in all of them. So I did some mistake here, space out, and here is no more text, and there is already. So if you don't need any margin bottom, you can leave it, right? So look at that. That's it. So see how quickly you can do these things. We're gonna practice this all 8 challenges many times, okay? Many times, right? And I want you guys to try this bottom by yourself. Find out how to create a bottom in Tailwind, right? Same element, like for example, let's say if I have to create it here, what I will do inside this one, just add a button, right? And what is that I want to learn? Now I'll start putting class name here. Same thing what I've done before, right? So BG not slate, but what was that? Let's make it green, right? Something like this. And then add a padding. So top and bottom maybe 4, padding X maybe 8, right? Rounded. That is, let's make it rounded full, right? And see how it, yeah. So let's see, go back here. It looks something like that, right? That's too much padding maybe. So let's make a 2 and make it 4, right? Okay. You want to give some margin bottom here, right? Class name, margin bottom of 4 maybe. Yeah. And then you want to convert that to the capital letter, right? So capitalize. Let's see what to capitalize will do, right? So just the first character turn to capital. So that is uppercase. Uppercase, right? Look at that. This few stuff we just have to, you learn by practicing, right? What I'm doing, just using background, color, padding, some border radius, right? Rounded or something like that, uppercase, lowercase. These are the few things you're gonna repeat 100 times, right? So uppercase, right? Next, maybe text. Let's make it semi bold, right? Something like that. Semi. Okay, not text but font. Okay, text you can make it little big. So let's do XL or maybe LG. This is also the size, that it has some size. Okay, so don't get confused with the SMMD, the media query, right? There is media query. When you use it like here, like SM, like this, then that will act like a media query. But if you just call that SM here, right? This is the size. The SM is 14 pixel. Look at that. Line height is 20, right? So see, like that, SM. You can make it bold. So font, extra light, normal, medium, semi bold, right? Semi bold, and it look like that. See? So that's how you create things. So I want you guys to just repeat what I just did it, right? Install, try to learn and read through this one, right? So basically, layout column, we're going to continue tomorrow again. See the flex box and grid, how you're going to get flex and grid here, right? And then spacing, that is padding, margin. See, look at here, padding, margin, space between, sizing, width, mean width, height, and all that, right? Typography, font family, font size, right? Text color, see, everything is here, right? Background color, how to use background. So if you go here, right, click on this and try to read through, try to understand. A border, how to apply border. Effects, like box effect, shadow or something like that, opacity, all that, right? Filter, you can add some blur on the image, something, you can use that. Table, you want to create table, you can do that. Animation, there is already. Text transform, uppercase, lowercase, I mean transform, right? Scale to whatever, some kind of animation. Okay, so the mostly I will ask you guys to look at border, background, text, typography, right? So this all fall under the typography, sizing and spacing, right? So these are the few things you can look at. Okay, tomorrow we're going to work with the grid, flex, and some other stuff. So this will be, we're going to do all these challenges one by one, and you guys practice and repeat and read right here. Okay, you read through the content, like you think what CSS you need to use, right? Color, padding, margin, border, font size. So try to think yourself and then try to navigate here, right? How to use that class. Okay, and see the size, right? That's how you're going to learn very quickly. Even though it's difficult, it's okay, right? Just learn one thing at a time and keep moving, right? All right, guys, so I will stop here.